What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Royal Podcast. This is Brett, and I got my homie, my best friend here, Darian.
What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the show. We take a different approach today. So instead of us coming up with the idea of what the show's going to be about, we went ahead and put out a Q&A on relationships. So just trying to figure out what everyone wants to know in regards to like relationships. So what kind of advice can we get? So we have some interesting questions. Hopefully we can get through these things in a reasonable time. So pretty interesting stuff. So go ahead, man.
All right. So first person that asked, they were like, "What do you do when you like someone and you're scared to tell them?"
There's so many ways to go about that question.
Yeah, there is. Really, I mean, it depends on the approach that you want to take. Realistically, it depends because how well do you know them? How well do you know them? Are you best friends with this person? Or do you just start knowing this person?
Yeah, I think I was going to say the same thing actually, because it's like it depends on the approach option you're going to take is based off of the comfortability level you have with them. Like how comfortable are you with them? So, if it's somebody you don't really know or somebody you haven't talked to in a very long time, like, well, one, it's kind of weird that you like someone that you haven't talked to in a very long time, but, I say it's weird because you want to check your like, are you infatuated? Do you really like them? Just different motivations behind those things. So I would say, yeah, it's just if you're close to them, then begin with first assessing like how they respond to you being like affectionate.
Yeah. It also depends on how you come out and say it too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. Don't text them. If you're close to them, look, do not do it over the phone, please. Because you may be successful, but they won't take you seriously.
Yeah, they could be like, "Oh, that's so sweet. I like you too as a friend."
Or, just even if they do like you, like,
right,
they won't take it as serious as you, the first person who made the decision to make the move. So, the person that asked that question, I believe, was a female.
Yeah.
So,
and there's no really like perfect timing to say, "Hey, I like you." No, life's short, so take the chance.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next thing. Like, just tell them.
Just tell them, like, just go with it. Maybe if y'all two are hanging out, and
if you don't really know them,
yeah,
don't try to become their buddy because you like them. You may end up finding that they're not the person you thought they were. So you may end up stopping. You may get disappointed, but you also don't want to go into like telling somebody you don't know that you like them, expecting to go right into a relationship, because now you're on ground zero. You have nothing to build off of, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to get to know them, become their friend, and then be a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Like, you can't mix all those roles at one time. It's super complicated, and you're gonna have a harder time.
I feel like a lot of people who do that, they kind of just jump into it.
That was all of middle school.
Yeah.
And for some people, high school. And I can't even say just those two, because some people are probably doing that today now.
Oh, there is. I know some people that are like that. They're like, "Oh, I like this girl," and then they start thinking about dating them. I'm like, slow down.
Yes.
Slow down.
Bro, get to know the girl.
Get to assess the situation, know them, who they are, because, that's the main important thing is building that relationship on a friend base first,
Yeah, it's just get close to them as a mutual, like keep it as mutual as possible. So you can keep them, if you get close to them in a mutual format, then you'll be okay to make the decision on whether or not you feel the confidence come to you. You don't have to have like the specific advice to know when to do it. There are certain suggestions you should listen to so that you don't end up hurting yourself, hurting the person that you're confessing to, or just being like, anything negative. But, you'll know when the time is right, because you've built enough. I can only say the word rapport because that's the thing that comes to my mind.
Rapport, yeah.
Yeah, from like business and stuff. But you build enough connection between them in order to make that call. So Yeah, what's the next one?
So, this one here is a little interesting too. It says, does age matter in a relationship if one is older than the other? What do you mean by older? Because, I mean, if they're like a year or two apart, that's no big deal. But
I think the person that's asking this question is not the one that has a year or two apart interest. I think that's all.
I was thinking like, okay, what if you're 30 and this person's 20? I mean, that's...
that's pushing it. Yeah, go ahead, man. I'll say what I have to say after you.
I mean, it really... personally, I wouldn't date anybody older than me. 10 years, 2 years, 4 years, Like, my fiance is 1 year younger than me, which that gap is very small. Mm-hmm. But if you're talking like, you're a grown man, you're like 40 something, and this sweet girl comes around, she's like 25. I mean, I don't know. It really depends on how mature the person is, like mentally and everything. I mean, I'm not condoning any of that, but
And that's a good point, because I was gonna say that the way you should approach that. I love the word assess, so I'm gonna be saying that word a lot. Assess. You have to assess where they are in life.
Yeah.
Because not every 20-year-old is the same. So, in my case, actually, it's funny. My cousin, I was driving with my cousin to the gym, or it's not to the gym, but to a place to go work out, and he was like, I forget you're 20 years old. I always feel like you're my age. And he's like 37, 36. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but the place that people are in life will definitely dictate that. Because if the person is not, this whole independence thing is very blown up to what it's, it's overemphasized, I guess. But like, if this person's independent for the most part, like if they've got a vision for themselves, because being independent does not mean just being being your own responsible, or being responsible for your own stuff. I mean, to some degree it does, but like, are you managing your life? Are you going in the direction you need to be going? Do you have a vision? Because trust me, somebody that you're in a relationship with no vision, and you have a vision, especially like if you have a vision and they don't, it's no bueno.
It's gonna sink.
Yeah, and sometimes that other person might have too much vision for you, and it just won't work. So it's like, where are they in life? And the next thing is, like, if this is like you said, 30 versus 20, like if it's something like that, then you gotta look beyond where they are in life. You also gotta look at who's gonna be affected by this relationship.
Yeah.
Because the younger you are, obviously, the more people that are gonna be involved with how your life is gonna look like. You have your parents, you have your family, like you have a lot more friends most of the time, and your responsibilities are way different. So that's all I have to say about that. Just
that does make that. That's basically it. I mean, where are they mentally? Yeah.
And of course, if you guys have any other suggestions, comments, or like ideas as to what could be an answer for any of these, please comment below. And if you think this is helpful for anyone,
absolutely, we love feedback. So
yeah,
whether it's positive, negative feedback, it's feedback. So voice.
Yep. So what's the next one?
So next one's, why do I keep getting hurt? So
you want me to take this one, or you got it?
Man, I feel like it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
What's...
I have two ways I can go about answering that question, but
yeah.
So the first one I'm gonna go ahead and say is the key word in that question. Keep. Because you're telling me it's continuously happening. So
what are you doing? Or
it's more like it's more along the lines of I. Yeah, it's the letter before that, which is I. So look internally and look for the answers there, because obviously you're not making good decisions. And I actually love the person that asked this question, so I'll keep it as anonymous as possible. But for the general public, if you're finding yourself asking that question a lot, and you just heard what I said, which is probably stuck with you, like you're probably the problem. It's not that you as a person are the problem. It's decisions you're making that's the problem. That's leading you into the situations that you don't want to be in. So if you're finding that all these guys or girls that that keep hurting you are doing pretty much the same thing, you better change where you're looking or what you're looking at and what you're looking for, because obviously you're just repeating the same scenario. You're not changing your environment. And maybe there's a whole bunch of factors that come into play for a relationship, like pacing, timing in your life. Like, some people go way too fast. Some people, I don't know if there's such thing as going too slow, but I think there could be going way too slow, or it's just not the right time for it in your life, right? Assess these things.
Who are you associating? Who are you dating, or who are you associating with? I guess, like you're saying, like that really does tie into why either you keep getting hurt or not. Like,
I think it ties back into what you said earlier too. Like, did you build a foundation with them? Are you guys friends? And what kind of friends are y'all?
Yeah.
Like, what's the quality of your relationship as a friend? That'll highly dictate the direction that your relationship's gonna go in. I promise you.
Even let's say they're not friends. Let's say you just meet this person, they're real good looking, whatever.
Like me? I'll play it. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like you have no knowledge of this person. Kind of try to get to know them a little bit. You don't have to just jump in and be like, try to start dating them, because then that's gonna backfire on you. That's ultimately it's like it is like your pacing, how you're approaching things.
Yeah. That's good, bro. That's real good.
There is no 100%
answer
to solving that.
Yeah.
You gotta really assess the past behaviors. What have these people said to you, and are they all the same type of guy or girl?
That's why it's so good to journal. Like,
are these people?
Are they just? Yeah, that's really it. The second thing I was gonna say is if you keep getting hurt, you may have too high of expectations. Like, you may have this way of processing a relationship that's just that's really unrealistic. I'm close to some people that kind of are just wired that way, and they just keep finding themselves repeatedly over and over and over again in pain because their expectations of the person that they're with is either most of the time it's just selfish. Like, it's all inbound stuff. They never have outbound expectations. And in order for you to have a successful relationship, you have to have both ways. It has to be
communication.
Well, yes, that's the first thing. But you have to cater to everyone's needs, not just focus on your own.
Yeah.
So, like, if you keep getting hurt after the relationship, like in the relationship, it's probably because you may not be doing your part, or you're doing too much of your part and not setting enough boundaries or standards.
Expecting too much, or
That's actually the third point, which is, are you being clear with them before you get into the relationship what exactly how you operate and what you would expect? What do you want out of the relationship? Where are you trying to go with it? That's the next thing. Like, you may be getting hurt because that person just doesn't know, and by the time you try to explain it to them, they're already in their routine and habits in that relationship. Like, they already have their set of acting. So take those three things as you please. It's not, like he said, it's not 100%.
Like, each relationship is different. Each individual is different. But there are those cases where,
you may have done everything right and that person is not good.
Yeah. Maybe they don't care.
They're there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But if you did your due diligence, then you wouldn't have to. You would probably wouldn't have gotten that relationship. Period. Because you would have figured it out. You know. That's
also like I don't mean to cut you off, but some people do change. Like
that is true.
They'll all right. So they'll paint this perfect picture when you start to get to know this person,
mm-hmm.
and then you start peeling back the
cover of the sheets,
the layers, curtains. And their true form, their true colors revealed, and you're like, oh, this isn't the same person that you were 3-4 months ago. Like, who am I dating?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, so, I hear that happen a lot too. I kind of want to talk about that too.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
that one for me, I hear that happen so much. This is where getting to know the person is really critical. It could help you a little bit. It's not a for sure way to avoid this, because one, that person can very well say, "Oh, I'm different now from how I was in the past." But that person's past is still the past.
Yeah.
Take into account that person's history and prepare yourself going forward. Don't be naive and ignorant and act like, oh, they changed, they different. Okay, we'd be all right. No. It's don't be a cynic. Don't be skeptical the entire time because you know their history. Just be cautious. Not overly cautious, but cautious. You may be able to prepare yourself for those coming changes, potentially. How drastic they're gonna be, that's the problem with people, is relative to their personality. So, that's it.
Yeah, and also we always keep saying this, but who they surround themselves with, their circle.
Oh, that is good.
We'll have to save, because that is one of the questions, so we'll save that.
Oh, that's later. Right. Cool. So what's the next one?
So the next one,
my handwriting sucks.
Oh, you're good. It says, what are your most important morals and values in a romantic relationship? Very specific there.
Go ahead. Since you're in a relationship, you're about to get married, you go ahead and start that, because you've made some success. I haven't gotten to that point yet, so
obviously, I gotta say, everybody's different. They all have their own morals. They all have their own values. But I guess I'm gonna tie it into where it kind of plays for everybody. 1, don't cheat. 2, be open about what you want. Be open about, talk about the future possibly. Keep it 100 between both of you guys, realistically. Without communication, without asking each other questions like, hey, I feel this type of way about this. What do you think about that?
And keep them engaged in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Keep them part of everything.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, you don't have to drown them every single day with it. Let's say they aren't living together. You don't have to drown them every single day with bugging them. Also, and give them some space too. Whoa, I'm getting off track here, but
it's all good.
Give yourself some space. Take some personal time for you, right? Because some people do forget about that. And when they get in a relationship, it's super sweet. It's all smooth sailing, and then let's say they stop hitting the gym because they're so on the love train of a lot. You notice that, right? How people.
I can relate to that.
They will.
I can tell you from experience.
They will stop what they're doing or stop their good habits and kind of adopt their own.
They'll mold to the other person's desires.
Right.
So whatever that person's demanding.
Yeah. Don't put yourself first 100%. Obviously, no. But you're gonna put your partner first before anybody. Before the family's thoughts. I want to think about what the family thinks. I want to think about what their friends think. Realistically, I would think about what does my partner think about me doing this, or you know what I mean?
Right. I like that. Okay, I was gonna add on top of what you said.
With the stopping, yeah.
With you won't be trading or molding you won't be trading anything for their favor. So that's where it goes back to like setting those expectations comes into play, because like you want to find yourself like for my case, if I were to set the standard of like, okay, I'm training at the gym at this time for this long, etc., with my partner, then it would have, you know, been easy. I wouldn't have found myself not training at all for the days I should have been training, just to spend time with that person. And that person wouldn't expect that, because they already know, okay, that's his time to like, you know, de-stress, make his gains, make his progress, be happy.
Yeah.
And then I have my time like this, and then the same plays out for that person as well. You accept what they have to do, and schedule things. So I guess that's the optimal way to, I mean, don't be a robot. It's like, be flexible, but
Right. Yeah.
you know, it's just like, I definitely understand you need that, and I understand how important it is to you, and I love you, and because I love you, I'm not gonna have a problem with you going out there and, you know, working out and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
what are mine? Marlon, I have a lot, guys. It's
a very good. I mean, I kind of touched broadly on it, but
yeah.
go ahead, man. Like,
You touched you touched a lot of good points. So I'm trying to, hopefully I don't repeat too many, but moral and ethics. So man, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that for me personally, I don't like mass like
publicity.
well, that's one thing. I don't really like being our relationship, like the details of a relationship being too public. So
Yeah.
privacy is super important. If you find yourself in a scenario, it's probably gonna go, you know, you better fix it before the relationship goes into a direction that you can't fix it in. What I was gonna say is like, I don't whatever the masses are doing, if I find that in like any of those qualities, too much of those qualities in the person I'm with, or I'm thinking about being with, it's kind of like a turnoff. I don't like average or mediocre. That's my point. Like, mediocrity is not acceptable. So occasionally we find ourselves doing mediocre activities. But the foundation, the principle is that you're gonna be controlling that from there on out. So, but if you're just like, if you can't be on the same wavelength as me, then I mean, obviously it's not gonna work, you know. But morals and standards. So morally, I like to see when the other person has morals and ethics themselves. First off, right? That's just like that's one thing. Who I'm surrounding myself with has to have in some way or some form, something equal or equivalent to that, similar, right? Like a system that they live by that is raising themselves to the highest standard possible. That is incredibly attractive to me. I think so. Like, you are just every day, you're not just saying these things to say them. You're not just you're actually like living it. Like, this is your life. Like, you're holding yourself to the best standard possible. You know, you're disciplined, you know, and stuff like that's real attractive. Now, there's a difference between being disciplined and having your system and being dominant. So, like, trying to dominate the relationship. That's the whole respect thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have respect. So, the next thing is, I think this kind of ties into discipline, is like, I hate emotional outbursts. So self-control, that's what it is. Look for self-control in the individual. There has to be some form of self-control in a relationship. So, and the assertive individual typically likes to solve problems right away. I kind of like that. So it's not like you're, you know, like if you piss off your loved one or your partner, they're hiding in a corner for like 3 days before they are even willing to talk to you. They ignore all your calls and texts. Like that's
oddly, I mean, it is, but 3 days, that's a little extreme. But like, but I mean, there are some people that's their thing. Like, they're like, yo, they need to cool down. You know,
cool down, but let's talk, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
not 3 days. Do that over the course of 5 years. Just change. You just look at the change that's gonna happen.
You're gonna end up like a Jerry. I don't know if you guys watch Rick and Morty, but you're gonna end up like a Jerry.
I did not watch that.
You know, it's a cartoon. I mean,
I've seen it. I mean, people talk. I've seen it on shirts and stuff, but I never watched it. A Jerry.
A Jerry.
What's that mean?
Man.
You don't want to go into it?
It's kind of like, I'll just go ahead and say it. It's kind of like, you know, he's the typical beta male. He sleeps on the couch, like. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like tiptoeing on eggshells around his wife, kind of thing. Like.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah, that's a no-go. Ooh, you better never mind. Stand your ground, please. What else, Darren?
And figure out like your also like I guess every relationship has different roles. Figure out what roles work for you guys. You know? And then it's smooth sailing from there. It should be.
It should be.
It should be, you know?
If you communicate, it really should be. Like if you have improper communication. And improper communication, I didn't say lack of communication. I said improper communication because there's this form of communicating we call lying. So if you find I mean they're communicating technically, but if they're lying to you,
they're not telling you the whole truth. They're just telling you some of the truth. So there you go.
Exactly, like the cheater would do.
Yeah.
You know, like they're lying to you, and the relationship will be successful if there's none of that. So that's where those like biblical principles come into play. Like all those things, like just good morals and standards, like obviously the lying, the no cheating, no stealing, stuff like that. I think if you practice those things yourself, you'll be okay in your relationship. You don't have to force that on nobody. You know.
And also, like like let's say this person's super religious or something, they will adopt those kind of values. If they really love you, they will. I mean,
I think so.
Don't force it upon them, but it will eventually. You know, like we said, like who you surround yourself with. Like, you know, we keep getting into that, but it really is important. Like, what is their character? Because based on their character, you know, they'll see, like, if, let's say, for example, if your woman sees you doing really good and sees these values that she finds attractive, she'll want to adopt some of those, like those habits.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Especially if she's supportive. Yeah. Being supportive is also like, I don't think that really falls into the category of being of morals and ethics, but
value.
Yeah, it's a value. Yeah.
You do want a supportive relationship, you know, based on what you're doing, because a lot of times, let's say like you have this huge dream and you're like, hey, babe, like I want to be a bodybuilder, babe, and she laughs or says goofy.
Or that's unattractive. Yeah.
Attractive.
Cut your losses.
Maybe you don't have the right one. That doesn't support that dream.
You know? Find that out
real quick
in a relationship, but don't wait till then. If they're not a supportive friend, then don't even. I mean, you may have feelings for them. You better work that out and find a way to get around that, because if they're not supporting your dreams as you shared them up front, like your intentions and stuff like that. Yeah.
I say that because I actually did have a friend who, I'm not gonna say their name, but they were all into fitness. They were big. They got me into it, and I could see they were serious about it. Like they said, that's all they wanted to do was lift weights and get paid to do it, and kind of build that style, that lifestyle. Yeah. And the other person was like not really supportive and didn't understand it. And it is depending like their mindset and their age, and you know, it's. I wouldn't want a partner that isn't supportive. Like my partner is supportive of everything I do.
Yeah, so, Star is awesome.
Yeah, like even us going on these podcasts, she loves it. Like it's great.
You're lucky, bro. You find yourself a good one. It's kind of hard to find good ones in Jacksonville. But with that being said, short break. I've been like dying to finish my goldfish, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish my goldfish.
You barely touched them.
I know, cause I mean we've been like all over the place. Yeah. And then we'll be right back. Okay.
All right.
Oh. We're ready to continue this, baby. We're ready to continue because we got some gummies.
Welcome back.
All right. So what we left off with morals and
values.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question is, in a relationship, why can some people get controlling with their significant other about friends? All right. Well,
that's a good question.
That is a good question. That's a hot fire question. So think about it. Just gonna go with the scenario here. What if, like, you wouldn't want your girl hanging out with some like attractive dude like Darian. You know what I mean?
I know that.
Okay. You wouldn't want your girl hanging out with some attractive dude, and then who knows what they're doing? Who knows what his intentions are? Like, he could be a sleazeball for all you know, trying to slide in. Like, you don't know. Like, you have no idea what his intentions are, unless he's like a really good dude, I guess. But you kind of have to know his or her friends, you know?
Without a doubt. If your partner, whoever it is just hesitant to show you, like, introduce you to their friends, there's one of two things. One is they're ashamed of who their friends are, and they don't think that you'd approve of them. Or two, they're ashamed of you, and they think that
their friends won't approve of
that person.
Yep.
And they may be, yes, either way. So take that in consideration if they don't want to introduce you to their friends. So I like that, man. The sleazeball, bro, that's so funny.
Man, greasy.
Yeah. I was gonna say this too. If they're trying to be controlling over who you hang out with, it's probably because they're insecure.
Yeah, that could be it too.
And not insecure in the sense that, like his example, like insecure of the sense like they don't want to lose your attention, and they're afraid of losing you to your friends. Like, they want to be controlling over who you're with and your time because they believe that they're the most important thing. But yet, on the other side of it too, is like, although they believe that they're the most important thing to you, as soon as you distract yourself from something else, they feel like they don't value much at all. And that's the insecurity problem. So that's pretty much what I have for that question.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like who their friends are. If he or she knows that those, like, let's say they know this group of people you're hanging out with isn't the best type of group to be hanging out with, then yeah, I mean, they're not going to want you to go down the path, and because your friends who you surround yourself with, the big circle, influence who you are as a person. It really does, because then you take on their characteristics. You know what I mean? Like,
I've seen examples of that in like movies and stuff where
you do change.
Yeah,
like you do. You don't realize it, and then you're like, oh, whoa, like,
what happened to you, man?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Like,
that's true. I mean,
fleshing out.
They could be doing it out of care, but it's not always the best thing to do.
But it is wrong to control them, like, at all. Like, you know, you should have that. What's the word I'm looking for?
Balance.
You should have that trust that they can go out and have friends and have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my lady can go out, have friends, and go do whatever she wants. You know why? Because I trust her. You know, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about some sleazeball. You know what I mean? Come on now.
Not with hair like that. Nope.
You know what I mean? I'm not worried about. I mean, she does. Like, people are going to hit on you, but it just depends on how you react and what you do.
Oh, that's a good point, right? I like that. That was a good one.
How do you react to that? Like,
yeah, that's good.
Are you gonna soak it in like a sponge, and you know, or are you gonna say, hey, thank you so much, like, you're an attractive person as well, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had a conversation about this with somebody. They're like, oh, what do you think about, like, let's say it was a female, she's like, let's say I'm married and I go to the bar and I see a guy I think is cute. I say, hey, I think you're cute. Like, but I don't want to spend time and hang out with him. I just think he's attractive. It's like, I guess there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
I want to see the need to go tell him. I mean,
right.
Personally, but
but if that's what they need to go do, I mean, go ahead. But, you know,
and that, look, if I had a girlfriend that was, or a wife for that matter, and she went up to the bar to hang out with her girls and drink, and, you know, she sees somebody that's really cute and attractive, and she wants to go tell them that, you know, they're fine, attractive stuff. You better not come back home and then, you know, with me,
Gossip.
you didn't do anything about it, but, well, gossiping too. I don't want to hear too much about that. I mean, I don't think anybody would. But the next thing is like, if you see me looking at a girl while we're together, or I say that she's cute or something like that, you better not tell me, what are you doing? What? I ain't react that way whenever you came home and told me that you saw a real cute guy at the bar. You know?
Well, it depends, because if you guys are on that same wavelength of, I mean, you can appreciate somebody's beauty, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're both like that, then sure, cool, you know? But if they're not like that, they don't want you looking at other people.
Don't be a hypocrite. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So, don't. No. That double standard doesn't work. That always leads to chaos.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to be equal in every department of life, but in that sense, it's just too similar. You have to have some kind of equilibrium, you know, between the two of y'all. So, yeah, because at that point, you're putting your man in a cage, or your girl. Like, don't hit on somebody and then say that they can't hit on somebody.
Well, it depends on your definition of hitting on somebody.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
Like, you shouldn't hit on somebody. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about, like, genuine, like, some girl comes up, oh, I love your hair. Oh, thank you.
That's cool.
Like, how are you assessing that situation? Are you, like I said, soaking it in like a sponge and just going on about it? You know? You shouldn't do that. You should cut it off. Cut it off, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Man, I was at some wing place with one of my buddies. This lady kept flirting, man. It was uncomfortable. It was like...
That's a wing place?
Mm-hmm. I was like, dang. Like, she was like, oh, you spoken for? I was like, yeah, I have a fiance. We're about to get married soon. She was like, and it still didn't matter. She kept going on.
Yeah, there's some hounds out there, man. They'll keep on. They're in the hunt, bro.
I was a waitress. I was like,
They don't care. They'll keep on hunting and hunting and hunting, bro. They don't care.
Yeah.
I remember one time I got hit on by like a. Never mind. We're not gonna go into that. These stories, there's so many of them. Like these successive flirtatious ones. What's the next question? I think this is the last one, isn't it? No.
Big question. Big fired up question here. Most rewarding thing in your relationship? Now,
I can't answer that. That's him.
Now. Alright, so first I'm going to make comparisons. I'm going to make my own most rewarding thing, and then as well as the generic people as well. So I guess the most rewarding thing, and I guess we'll get personal, most rewarding thing in my relationship would be being able to grow together as individuals and as well as a couple. You know, you really, like, you get to look back at where you guys started and how you are today and how your minds have changed, how you've grown physically, spiritually, like mentally, like all those things. And like all the small stuff isn't necessarily rewarding. It's really the big picture that actually matters.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I'm trying to get that point across a lot of people. Like, where do you see yourself in 10 years with so and so? You know what I mean? Like, if you can't think like that, then maybe that isn't for you. Like, that relationship probably isn't for you, or you're just not thinking clearly. You're thinking too small. Like, rewarding. I mean, the whole relationship should be rewarding. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, what kind of value do they bring to you? You know? Like, for me, I mean, I get brought tremendous value. You know, I am where I am today because of my.
What kind of value does she like? Name some of your favorite things that you think that. Yeah, like name some of your favorite things that are rewarding to you. Like, put the smile on your face.
I mean, like the supporting thing, like how she supports me and
that's awesome.
What I do.
That's so good.
Sometimes brings me food when, you know, I'm not at least expecting it. It's like, what? Like, these small things really do tie into how
I love food.
like these small deeds really do tie into how you guys value each other. Like, how are you tending to your significant other? You know what I mean? Like, what needs are you taking care of? You know, I guess making sure both of our needs are taken care of really is a big value. You know.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I especially think that those one of those rewarding, like an example of a rewarding relationship would be where you can just look at them and say, that's my best friend, but also my lover.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's, you guys don't really have to talk much in order to know what the other is thinking, or to kind of like,
you're in sync in
Right.
a way.
Right.
Like, your life should, like, you guys' life should be like a movie. And I say that because, you know, they glamorize the red carpet, things like that. Like, that's how, you know, you should view the relationship. Like,
even going through your problems, try to have that, like, that mindset or that view. Like, problems are problems. Of course, you're gonna feel like negatively impacted by them, but like, you should have confidence in one another and get to that point where you're just like, man, we got this another problem together. How are we gonna tackle this?
yeah.
You know, and just have fun tackling that issue. I've actually personally come to learn to do that myself. I've completely shifted that automatic response that most people have, or we were taught to have, pretty much. Like, oh darn, man, I got in a car accident. I'm like, man, I got in a car accident. Well, at least I'm okay, and that's another excuse for me to buy a new car. So let's go get one. Like, that's how. You know, that's like, darn, you know, you respect the problem, but you don't respect it too much by being like, oh, bro, I just got in a car accident. You're going around telling everybody, man.
Yeah.
No, like, if your girl's like, you know, if you got an argument with your girl, it's like, man,
I really messed up, or
Yeah.
you really messed up this time, but hey, I forgive you.
and I got an opportunity to grow. I got an opportunity to be better and make
Right.
you happy. Like, that's exciting, and you just go about it. And if they mess up and they hurt you, it's just like, oh man, I don't know. That was a tough pill for me to swallow. But you know, at the end of the day, I have to remember I love this girl and she's not perfect. So I gotta help her get through this, because not just her, like, because I made this mistake in the past. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but it's like I've realized if your significant other or whoever you're in a relationship with, whether it be friends or romantic, you know, if they mess up, don't be like, okay, you're responsible, and nothing will change until you fix this. Most of the time, you find that the solution also includes you. So, like, the solution has to include you. It's just the formula to solving that relationship's problem. So be involved in the solving of the problem. It'll make things go faster, and you know, it'll be better. Not only will you guys learn how each other responds during problematic times, like what can one do to help solve the problem, what can you do to solve the problem, so that when future things come up, you can optimize that situation and like go forth and solve it even faster. But the next thing is like, they can respect you more. You know,
Like they've seen you at your vulnerable time, and like each day you guys should be, I say this, but I feel like each day we should be dying to our old selves. Now, like, and don't bring up what he or she did like 4 months ago, or
dude,
2 years ago, or remember you did this to me, remember you know.
Yeah.
Nah, maybe you're goofing off, messing around, but yeah, but like, you should be dying to your old self, meaning like, not saying we're all snakes, but like shed that skin, shed that weak part of you. That way you
Forgive
can,
and grow.
Yeah, freaking grow.
Forgive and grow. So you forgive the problem and you grow from the problem. You know, you just don't hold. Oh man, I know so many people, man, that just like, he only did the same thing. He did this back in 19. Like, what the heck? Okay, look, it's not story time.
Yeah.
I want to hear your problem once, and then we're gonna talk about solutions. You take that approach with relationships too?
Oh yeah. That's a business approach too.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Treat your relationship like that. I don't think there's a
Your
big problem.
relationship kind of is like a business. Like, how do you operate it?
An exchange of values, yeah. Yeah, except it's more fun.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, if it's not, then just wake up, slap yourself in the face with some water, and
Yeah. Also, yeah. Speaking of fun, what on here? Y'all better go on dates, like legitimate dates, and
Yeah, that also like adds value to like the values. That also is another value. Whether it's a Friday or a Saturday, you know, set it. You were telling me about that the other day. There was this super successful guy that like, what does he do? He spends this amount of time with his family or his wife.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, what's his name? I can't remember, but he pretty much, I found myself going on the same trajectory he went on. He's pretty much, he was disorganized, you know, like not very focused, etc. So he got himself like hard tracked on a schedule. And now that schedule has produced something like a business, and he's responsible for people, you know, paychecks, you know, customers, you know, management, bills, all that stuff, he finds himself real busy. And he always wants to scale. So a lot of that time is him scaling, trying to get better. So he found that was hurting his relationship with his wife because his wife wasn't spending enough time with him. She was starting to feel neglected, and it started to hurt relationship. So now here's where the flexibility, being flexible and stuff with your system comes into play, like I mentioned before. He was like, all right, babe, look, I understand I'm messing up, but I understand I'm doing this wrong and I'm not really paying much attention. I like to fix it with you, but please work with me.
Yep.
Can you please like pick a time and a day that we're gonna always go out to lunch or something, do something, we'll spend time together. Whatever works for you, I'll try to make it work. And they talked about, she was like, this time, he was like, not really. She's like, that time, and they worked it out. So now they, you know, it's like it's like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. She comes up to his office. He leaves. He stops what he does, and I think they go out to lunch for like 45 minutes, and they just spend time together, hang out, and then they have like a date night too, sometime in the week. And these are people that have been married for like 20 plus years, so you know it works. It works for them. And actually, I remember my sophomore year. I don't know if you had this teacher at Sandalwood. Her name was Miss. She's a chemistry teacher. Her name just left my head. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name. But I remember I was turning in the latest assignment. Yeah. It was a Friday afternoon. And it was after school. And she was like, Darian, you know, just don't worry about it right now, because I gotta get ready to leave because I have a date night tonight. I was like, huh? I was like, huh? What in the world? I was like, date night? And she's like, yeah, my husband and I usually go to this one jazz place. We dance and stuff like that. Oh, we have a lot of fun. I love this thing. That's another thing I was gonna say. You can have your passion, she can have her passion, but share one. If it's not the same one, then share one.
Or alternate it too.
Or well,
kind of like
yeah. Now help support. That's the support part, but like share a passion, and it's not like a business passion or anything. Like if y'all's passion is to go ride a bike in the park, then go ride a bike in the park.
If y'all like axe throwing or archery or something like that, go ahead and go do that. Like
those are pretty unique passions. I mean, but yeah, do that stuff. Oh, the relationship would be great. I don't force it. That thing usually comes naturally. Just going out on dates, you kind of find that stuff, like testing the waters, finding what, you know, babe, what do you think about that place? I don't think we should go back to that. Okay, well, y'all spent time together. So, I think that's it, bro.
That's like, I mean,
that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, that closes all the questions.
Yeah.
All
the good ones, at least.
All the good ones. So, make sure you were treating your significant other and your friends in a manner that you would want to be treated. You know, love is like an ocean. One day it could be rocky, and the next day it could be smooth, and the waters are calm. You know, so.
But those waters never leave.
They're still there.
Yep, even if they're rocky and even if they're smooth.
And also, so some people they'll say, hey, like I feel like I'm missing something in this relationship, you know, and they're not sure what, and they will go look. Now, what they don't realize is they have about, I'm gonna go with 95%. They have 95% at home, right? Your significant other is 95%, and what they see out there, they may look good, that's the 5% that they think they need.
Oh, they're so focused on the 5%, they don't realize what they have. Oh gosh, that's gratitude right there. Y'all better be grateful for what you have. Like, focus on what you have first, and then, you know, in a relationship there is no and then, but you know, you just focus on what you have. But with everything else in life, of course, focus on what you have, take care of that, and then if there's some way you can level up, then do it. But if you're in a relationship and you love your person, then there is no.
Yeah, there's none of that. I would say, like, man, most importantly, I had the thought. I was gonna say something. Most importantly, man, it just slipped my mind, bro.
You need some more sleep, bro.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember it after the podcast, I'll put it in the description. But that's all the questions. Can you remember right now?
No, man, it slipped my mind. It was real good too. I promise you.
This always happens to this guy. It's so unfortunate.
I promise you, man. It was real good.
But hey, for everyone that is watching or listening, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I hope you guys got something valuable from this. Truly, you know, we're just doing this kind of out of, like, you know, passion. So hopefully you got that passion, you know, communicated over to you. If you find that this is beneficial for you and it's like somebody else that you care about, share it with them. Even if there is nobody, share it anyway.
Share it, yeah.
Show people that we're putting this stuff out there. Come on now.
Absolutely.
Let's build this kingdom up, the Royal Podcast.
Royal Podcast is on to good things. If you guys have any questions or any specific topics, and if you want us to go into absolute detail about something, you know, tell us. You know, we can, you know, I try to touch on things, not so much broadly, but that's me. I like to circle around and revolve around everyone. So, yeah, if you have any questions, anything specific that you want us to touch on, just hit us up on the Royal Podcast. Comment, like, and then go to Instagram, follow the Royal Podcast, comment on the post, and watch the stories, because we usually we put in content there on the stories that we usually won't see in the video or on the podcast. So thank you guys so much. We love y'all. You guys are phenomenal. I hope you guys took something away from this. Hopefully you got better, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you. Have a good week, guys.